What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the HTL Sports Channel. Last week we went over our top five SEC quarterbacks. So this week, as you can see, we're doing our top five Big Ten quarterbacks, and this is our rankings on how I think they're going to play this year, not based off how they played last year and coming into the year. This is based off like if I think Luke Altmaier is going to have a really good year, he could be all the way up at one. He's not, but it's not based off them coming into this year. It's based off how I think they're going to play this year. I'm going to give an honorable mention to the guy on the left over there, Dylan Raiola. I think he's going to be really good. He's kind of he just wasn't asked to do a lot last year, and he didn't really throw the ball downfield all that much. It was mainly just because I think that they didn't trust him yet. I think he's going to be unleashed a little bit this year. Um, but I do think he'll be really good. And then another honorable mention to Nico Iamaleava after forcing his way out of Tennessee, now at UCLA. So we'll see how he does starting this year there. I think he was a little propped up last year at Tennessee by a really good defense and a really good run game. So he wasn't asked to do a whole lot. He's not going to have that this year at UCLA. He's in a really good conference on a pretty bad team. So we'll see how he manages now. Now that he's got to, kind of do everything for the offense. But we'll just have to see. So those are my two honorable mentions for this year. Coming in at five, I have Fernando Mendoza. Transferred him from Cal. He was really good there. The numbers don't like jump out at you, but he's a physical specimen. He's like 6'5". And I really like this Indiana system for him. Indiana throws the ball a lot of RPOs and a lot of back shoulder throws, kind of go up and get at receivers. I think that really fits in his game. He's not like super mobile. He's not going to like run a ton or anything like that. But he's careful with the ball. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He doesn't fumble the ball a lot. And he's not like a super flashy, but I do like him as a quarterback and as a quarterback prospect. Honestly, he's your prototypical, and I think he really fits their system well. A bunch of RPOs, which I think is really gonna help him kind of get molded into the system, and then once they start building that trust, everything like that, they're gonna be able to kind of open it up for him. Number four, Julian Sain. He hasn't played at all. So we'll have to see. But I really do think he's going to be really good. Transfer from Alabama, former five-star, Elite 11 MVP, which, that doesn't mean a ton because Jackson Arnold was an Elite 11 MVP. We saw how he was at Oklahoma, regardless of if it was his fault or not. 2023 Gatorade Player of the Year for his high school. The one thing that I think that's going to help him the most is he's got an elite wide receiver room to work with. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. They just had a really good transfer tight end as well come in. He's going to have weapons, and he's not going to. And the defense is going to be really good. The run game, we'll see how they mesh now that both of their running backs are gone. But it's Ohio State; they're going to figure it out. So I think he's going to play really well because I don't think he's going to be he'll be like Will Howard. Will Howard was really good last year, but was he asked to be Superman? No. So I think Julian Sain will kind of be doing the same thing along those lines. Not asked to be Superman, but he's gonna allow them to win some games. He's not gonna win you games, but he's not gonna lose you games. And there could be some flashes if he lives up to that 5-star potential. This could be a scary team. But first year starting, we'll see how it goes. Number three, Dante Moore. This is a funny story. There's something to be said about a guy who practices. It was a 5-star. He came in. He wanted to start as a freshman. He practiced with Dante Moore for about 1-2 weeks max. It's like, nah, I'm out. I'm going to Cal because I want to start. This guy made a 5-star transfer after seeing him practice for 2 weeks. He has starting experience. It's kind of a weird situation for Dante Moore. He started at UCLA, lost the starting job, but then transferred to Oregon, sat behind Dylan Gabriel, who was really good for them last year, and is now, going to be thrust into that starting role. I think, the passing stats are a little bad from UCLA. Obviously not super careful with the ball. But I really do think this system will allow him to, kind of be a lot better because UCLA hasn't been really much in football recently at all. But I think Oregon's going to be able to, he's going to have weapons there. He's going to have a good run game, most likely. So we'll have to see, but I think Dante Moore is actually going to be really good for them. It's just a funny story of how he made a guy transfer out 2 weeks into practice, a 5-star transfer out, and make him go to Cal, strictly because he knew he wasn't going to start. But so I believe in a story like that. Number two, though, Luke Altmaier. He is really good. He's not going to, his numbers don't stand up on the page. Like 2,700 yards, 22 passing touchdowns, only like a 69 QBR. Nice. But he's more mobile than what the 217 rush yards look like. He's mobile in the pocket, and he can move a little bit. And he's super careful with the ball. Only 6 interceptions last year. This Illinois team is a lot of people's like, kind of sleeper pick for the college football playoff or something like that. I do think they're going to be really good. I don't know about playoff top 20 team. Yeah, I can definitely get behind that. Playoffs though is going to be tough because I mean their schedule is favorable. I will say that. So they don't. I believe they only have to go like on the road to Penn State, something like that. I think that's their hardest game. But other than that, I really don't think they have a super hard schedule. And Luke Altmaier is going to be really good for them. He's a transfer from Ole Miss a couple years ago, and he's been really good ever since he got there. Like super careful with the ball, but he knows where to pick his spots, when to take a shot, stuff like that. And I think he's going to be really consistent for them. You know what you're going to get out of him, which is a really good quarterback. But number one, could be controversial, but I mean, like, who else really is going to be up here? It's Drew Aller. A lot of people don't like him. I'm one of the ones that do. I was super, as you guys know, I was super high on him last year coming into the year, and then he kind of went out and balled out, 3,300 yards, 24 passing touchdowns, 8 picks, and he wasn't even healthy, fully healthy last year. I think if he was fully healthy for that Ohio State game, I think they win it because first drive when they went down and were able to move the ball really well, he was running around a lot. But his knee was, not fully there, so it was kind of hard for him. I knew he couldn't keep that up, and they knew he couldn't keep that up for an entire year. And honestly, he played pretty well all year. He missed a couple throws and had obviously that costly pick in the game against Notre Dame. But I think he's going to have much improved wide receiver room for sure. Both running backs came back, so good threats out of the backfield and good run game to complement that. I don't know if he'll like put up the stats to win the Heisman or something like that, because obviously like a guy like Garrett Nussmeier is going to be throwing the ball 45 times a game. Drew Aller's not going to do that. Penn State, that's not their offense. They're going to want to run the ball 30 times a game. That's not how he's going to do it. Now, do I think he's going to be really good when he has to throw the ball, do all that? And can he go win you a game? 1,000% he can. I just don't think he's going to have to do that over a 12-game season to, warrant him with the stats and all that make a Heisman season. He could be in New York strictly because, Penn State could be 11-1, 12-0, win the Big Ten, stuff like that. But the stats, I don't think will warrant him winning the Heisman strictly because that's not their scheme. But I do think he's going to be really good with a much improved wide receiver room, 2 good running backs. Loses Tyler Warren, but the wide receiver room was not good last year. So I think he's going to be, able to go. And as long as he stays fully healthy, those rush yards will come. I expect around 500 this year, not 300. He was kind of, basically, I think it was like right before the Ohio State game, kind of hurt his knee. And he was even questionable to play in that game. And then he came out and played and was moving around well for the first drive. But Penn State knew that his knee couldn't keep up with that. So they had to kind of go away from this game, and that kind of basically just took the wind out of their sails. But yeah, those are my top 5 for the Big Ten. Let me know who I missed. Let me know if I think I got it right. Maybe got the 5 right, just not in the right order, something like that. But let me know, who you're rooting for to come out of the Big Ten. I think my personal would probably be Penn State. I want them to finally get one. I want Beans to shut up about James Franklin not being able to win the big game. That'd be funny because Ryan Day kind of shut him up last year. But yeah, I covered the Big Ten last year and was pretty effective on it. So I think these are my top 5 quarterbacks going into the year. And peace out, y'all.